Let's get over to Liver King. Shall we? Yes. Again. Just to bring it full circle because we were in the Liver King documentary. And this also involves Joe Rogan. And it's a fun story to end on. After an insane couple of weeks, Liver King has found himself under arrest in the city of Austin after issuing, quote, terroristic threats against Joe Rogan. Let's go ahead and put some of that video up there on the screen. Liver King. His real name is Brian Johnson. As revealed in the documentary and as he often would talk about on his social media platform. Let's be honest. This guy has totally lost it. He looks terrible. Who knows exactly what's going on with him? Whether he's on something or whether he's withdrawing from the steroids that he admitted to taking after lying to everybody about not taking them. But the point, actually, as a sociological phenomenon, is important to see. Because look, Liver King is a bullshit artist. This is a guy who, again, lied about taking steroids. Sold, I think it was like $100 million or something like that in supplements. And pulled off a bunch of stunts to popularize a carnivore diet. Fine. But what he was really doing was selling a vision and a lifestyle centered around a body which he was fundamentally lying about. And everybody kind of knew he was lying. The proof, eventually being released by my friend Derek over at More Plates More Dates, just really revealed him to be a total fraud. And he tried to have his whole redemption arc. But what this just demonstrates is that so many people were looking up to Liver King at that time. It's important to remember that a huge part of his audience was teenage males who weren't really able to discern a lot of this. And so, in the hopes of being able to show people the downside of a frankly unhinged, lying personality, somebody who's willing to perpetrate. First of all, this massive attention grab and all this ridiculous shit that he was doing, you also have to look at the downside of this. He's literally melting down on his Instagram page. Now being arrested by the police. And is obviously unhinged. He looks terrible. I genuinely hope he gets the help that he needs. He needs to be committed. His wife and his kids. You guys need to step up here. Man. Because this is a crash out of epic proportions. Take control. Because this is not good. I'll tell you. I watched the documentary last night about him. Sagar's monologue builds to a crescendo and it wraps up with it. Also, my voice is briefly in it as well from our last Joe Rogan appearance. I forgot that we talked about that. I forgot about it. Too. And Joe's like, I knew he was a fraud. And I'm like, oh. Just based on how he looked. So. In any case. We've been following it. He was obviously not on my radar. As I wasn't really the key demographic that they were going after. But what jumps out in the documentary is, first of all, you feel terrible for his boys. Those children are used as props to basically sell a lifestyle and all this weird shit he has them do. I feel so bad for those kids. I think we need to get some laws and regulation around parents using their kids as influencers. Because it is sickening. It really is. It's a huge industry and it's grotesque. So, first and foremost, you feel bad for these kids. Secondly, you are wondering what is going on with the wife, who is just going along with all of this. And then third, it was so disturbing to me that this is someone who so many young men looked up to as a role model. When this person is the polar opposite of who a role model should be. I mean, now he's had the full mental break. But this was not a well person. And obviously, his whole thing is built on a lie. He is a con artist. It is a complete fraud. I think a lot of his origin story, too, is probably a fraud. Which involved his kids. By the way, nobody knows. You can't take any of this for granted now because his big selling point was, I look like this because of these 9 ancestral tenets. And that was all total and complete bullshit. And it wasn't like he just didn't answer the question. On multiple podcasts he'd go on. They'd say, are you on steroids? And he'd say, absolutely not. No. I know people can't believe it. I love when I get this question. But no. It's all natural. And you need to stop limiting yourself and believing that this isn't possible for you. 2. Blah. 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 So. This is a con artist. A charlatan. A fraud. Someone who is clearly deeply insecure and in some sort of mental anguish. Who becomes an icon for millions of young men. It does bring you back to the point of like. We have to do some self-reflection about what state young men are in that this would be so appealing to them. And then, you know, I've watched a bunch of videos of him just hunting Joe Rogan throughout Austin. I think, effectively, in his mental collapse, he has fixated like a stalker on Rogan as the source of his downfall. Because Joe had said several things about him. He was the most prominent person to be like, that guy's a liar. Before it even officially came out. And then he had Derek on the podcast to go through all of the evidence. The leaked emails and everything that just proved he absolutely was a fraud. And so it seems like this guy has completely fixated on Joe. He's hunting him. He shows up in Austin. He's making these direct threats. And he's carrying around this briefcase that has the Joe Rogan Experience logo on it. At one point, he opens it briefly. And if you do a freeze frame, there's at least one gun in there. And he's saying he wants to fight him and that he's coming after him. So, I think that's what probably led to them feeling like, okay, we've got enough that we've got to arrest this guy. No. I'm actually glad that they arrested him. Because you can't just be rolling around threatening people with guns on social media. I mean, look. We have some video of this. I'm going to play it for you guys. This guy's lost it. Okay. Let's watch. Joe Rogan. We don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man-to-man to a fight. Honorable. And we don't have to pretend or make any videos. The world is watching. They'll make the videos for us. And you don't have to hold a camera. You can hold the hand of somebody that you love. Because what happens next to you? You're going to need to remember that feeling. You're going to need something more than what you did to give you something to fight for. 'Cause I have my family to fight for. That's what warriors do. You and Andrew Tate are good warrior boys. Good warriors. But you're actually better than that. The real tension we have. Comedy. Comedy that you do is good and true. Yeah. It's creepy. Man. Beyond creepy. It's terrifying. Honestly. So. I'm glad that they pressed charges. Because this type of behavior is just ridiculous. And yeah. Honestly. We all hope Brian, not the Liver King, gets the help that he deserves. Yeah. Look at those pupils. One is like triple the size of the other. There's a lot going on there. And frankly, shame on his wife and his handlers and whoever's getting paid by him for letting it get to this point. It's just absolutely sad. Ultimately, the saga of the Liver King is a cautionary tale for our modern age. It's easy to laugh at the absurdity of it all. But beneath the surface is a story of a man's profound personal crisis broadcast for the world to see. And a reflection of a deeper societal yearning for strong, albeit false, idols. We genuinely hope that Brian Johnson, the man behind the persona, finds his way to quiet, private healing. We hope his family finds peace and that his children can grow up free from the weight of being public props. This entire episode serves as a powerful reminder for all of us to seek authenticity. Not just in the leaders and influencers we follow, but within ourselves. True strength isn't built on a foundation of lies. It's forged in honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to be real, even when it's not perfect. If you appreciate these kinds of in-depth conversations that look beyond the surface, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button, as it truly helps us reach more people. And be sure to click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for being a part of our community. And we'll see you next time.